think you guys know what time it is. I'm just going to bring him up because, we want to get him on and get you guys in bed for the big work day tomorrow. And it's the guy you guys came to see. So start making some noise, ladies and gentlemen. We love this dude. Keep it going for the very funny Tim Lowe.
Coming out. I know it's you've been reserving your laughter for me. I appreciate you reserving your energy. Every time there was a name that was called that was not mine, everyone was like, God damn it! Another one! So we're here. Hey, we're having a good time. And I really appreciate everyone coming out because I know how hard it is to leave our homes nowadays, with technology being what it is. We've got little computers in our pockets, with technology. We got Netflix and CISO and Hulu. Every night, it's a big debate. Do I go out and maybe have a good time, or do I stay in and catch up on all my shows? Because if I don't catch up now, I'm going to be behind like 3 months. I'm going to have to binge watch for like 3 months straight. There's too many options, not enough time. Tim, I know what to do. Calm down. Relax. Curb your enthusiasm, if you will. Because if you feel that you're missing out on something by being here, here's everything you need to know about television. Right, first and foremost, there are a lot of great friends in our entourage. In fact, a whole bunch of Mad Men. Ray Donovan, Luke Cage, Louis, Dexter, Luther, and Sherlock, who is a true detective you could use if you get lost on your way to Twin Peaks, which are really just a bunch of faulty towers, because the man in the high castle built his house of cards. But hey, stranger things have happened in a fuller house. And we have such a close-knit community, I guess you can say we keep our bloodline all in the family. I even heard that Horace and Peter dating was only in Isles. There's a bunch of wholesome modern families. Now, a Sopranos may always be in a state of arrested development, but they did such a great job in raising their sons of anarchy, just as long as no one knocks up those Gilmore or Golden Girls. Because we all know what happened to Jane the Virgin. 16 and pregnant? Shameless. And let's not forget about our esteemed guests of honor, Dr. House, Mr. Bean, Doctor Who, Mr. Robot, and Dr. Quinn, who's a medicine woman. Then there's Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, and author of The Vampire Diaries. There's a lot of people who you can say are really animated. Samurai Jack, Archer, BoJack, Rick and Morty. Now these are some real freaks and geeks. But it hasn't always been good times. Because once upon a time, I saw The People versus O.J. Simpson and thought, oh, this is us making a murderer, and now Orange is the New Black. Not to mention that time that new girl left behind a death note of 13 Reasons Why It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I've learned a lot, like how neither the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air nor Xena Warrior Princess will ever get a chance to wear the crown in any Game of Thrones, even though they built their own boardwalk empire together. And did you know that Bones and Iron Fist has nothing to do with Grey's Anatomy? So as we come down to the wire, I'm going to be transparent. No need for supernatural unsolved mysteries here, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I live in Broad City and was born in Fargo, but I was conceived in Westworld, so I consider my homeland Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Jessica Jones might have been my first, but the rumors are true. Yes, that's right. I love Lucy, because I'm a family guy who sees his future in Silicon Valley. The good place, with the good wife. And if you want to know how I met your mother, well, you better call Saul. That's part one of three. There's more where that came from. Everyone knows who I am here except for our lovely senior citizen couple. I appreciate your presence. Thank you very much for being here. All right. Wow. Oh, okay. All right. We're loosening up a little bit. All right. But I like being a Tim. I think I wear it well. A lot of people look like their names. Like definitely there's Jennifers out there. There's definitely Garys. But I think the name that sums up how someone looks the most has got to be Agatha. Ugh. What an awful, ugly name for an awful, ugly person. This always works. Is anyone here named Agatha? See, it's fine. It's fine. Even just saying the name sounds like you have a smoker's cough, you know, just it's an awful name, you know. Maybe you don't know any Agathas personally, but you can definitely picture what she looks like, right? It's just this old, bitter woman who loves complaining about everything, you know, just, I ordered my steak well done, and this is medium rare. You know, I've been coming to this casino restaurant every year since my late husband Harvey, God rest his soul, passed away after slipping into a diabetic coma from eating all those peppermint patty ice cream sandwiches. I said, Harvey, you're killing yourself. But did he listen? No, of course not. Even after his toes started falling off, because every night after dinner with those goddamn ice cream sandwiches, I said, you're lucky that third heart attack didn't kill you, you son of a bitch. Anyway, dear, I hate to be a bother, but can you throw this back on the grill? I heard undercooked meat gives you autism, and I got this sciatica thing going on. I don't need to be retarded on top of it. You know, a lot of people tell me I'm awfully opinionated. They call me Naggy Aggie. Admittedly, that is a lot of energy coming out of a woman like that. I recently ran into an Agatha. This past summer, I went to, down the shore, I went to an aquarium, or as I like to call it, water prison. And it's a lot like zoos, animal jail. And at the end of the exhibit, they had this piece on protecting Mother Nature and keeping the earth clean and blah, blah, blah. And they had these pictures of animals caught in debris and garbage and whatnot. And above it, they posed a question. They said, would you want to live like this? And I thought, now, that's awfully presumptuous, you know? How do we know they don't like living like that? You know? Because the ocean is vast and mysterious. You know, I don't know what's going on down there. I barely know what's going on up here with all you surface dwellers. Because if you look around the world, like, depending on where you come from, anything outside of your norm can be extremely strange and different and weird, right? You know, just look around, ear gauging, lip disking, neck elongating, waist cinching, genital piercing, foot binding. You know, how do we know that a turtle doesn't purposefully get his neck caught in one of those six-pack plastic rings? So that he can show off to his friends his fancy new necklace, you know? Hey, look at me, guys, yeah, it cuts off my circulation, but I look cool, right? I look cool. That's why if you say ocean pollution, I say animal fashion. We gotta care about animals, though, right? You know, gotta care about it. I imagine there's a lot of pet owners here, right? Fans of anyone here have pets? Oh, Jesus! I guess you don't care about your pets. A lot of people are really close with their pets, and they feel that their animals can talk to them. Social media is lousy with videos of people just come on, girl, come on, say I love you. Come on, I know you can do it. Come on, come on, sweetie. Come on, Whiskers. Come on, say it. And all the cat does is meow, 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 meow. Come on, it's not even close. Like they act like it's a party trick. Come on, Sparky. Do what we just did. He just did. I swear to God. Come on. Speak. Did you hear that? 407 years ago. Oh my God. Whew. I don't care how many hooked on phonics you give your pets. They aren't speaking. Unless you have a parrot, it's something that usually speaks. I don't know. A lot of people think that their animals are talking to them. While I'm on the subject of animals, can we please stop giving animals paintbrushes and calling them fucking artists? Can we please do that? Every yahoo with access to a dog or a horse or an elephant, they stick a paintbrush in their mouth and it just oh, look at him, he's going to town. It's just this is how. Look at him. He's doing great. That's not what's happening. He's trying to get the paintbrush out of his mouth. Either that or he's having a seizure. I have no idea. My favorite story when it comes to animal artists, though, came out of Sussex, England. There's a woman who owns a farm, and she has a pet pig named Picasso. Pig-asso. Okay, I see where you're going with that. And Pig-asso has so many paintings. She's so prolific. It's a female pig, it's a sow. So many paintings that she was able to open her own exhibit where she made sales, multiple sales. I think this is why Van Gogh cut his ear off. You know, he heard the ka-ching of the cash register from all the horse sales. He's like, I can't take it anymore! Either that or maybe that's why he killed himself. Oh my God! You know that Van Gogh killed himself, right? We're well aware of that? So some people care a lot about their animals. Some people think their animals can talk. Some people think their animals are artists. There's a lot of people, and I'm using that word very loosely, who think that they're animals. Are anyone aware of trans species people? Well, people individuals. Anyone? Trans species. It's not transgenderism, because this is a big difference, you know. Because I get transgenderism. Someone born in the wrong body. I'm a man, but think I'm a woman, or I'm a woman, think I'm a man. I can totally get that. You got a couple wires crossed in your brain. I do have a couple questions when it comes to transgenderism, though. Is like, I'm not a particularly religious person, but as far as I know, you're considered Jewish only if your mother is, right? That's how that works, right? Your mother's Jewish, then you're Jewish, technicality. So then that begs the question. What happens if you have a Jewish mother who is also transgender, and she becomes a man? Do you lose your Jew status? Trying to stay ahead of the curve here, everyone. Follow-up question. Same scenario. Old mom becomes new dad, but he remarries a woman who is Jewish. Do you re-Jewify by default? Hey, we got kids vaping Tide Pods nowadays. Stuff like this is bound to happen, you know? Just trying to stay ahead of the curve, because one of the first times that I was behind the curve, I was in 5th grade, talking about Judaism and just, you know, culture and whatnot. 5th grade, we go over Hanukkah. It's the holiday season. It gives us a little introduction to what different cultures are. But then a week later, we had the growing up program. You know, our first introduction to sexual education and whatnot. And I got really confused because it was just too much information. Within 2 weeks' time, I don't know how to process it. Because I realized when they threw up the diagram of the vagina, one of the parts is labeled labia minora. And I said, excuse me, but that looks nothing like a menorah. You know, that thing that we were talking about? Look, there's only 2 openings. How are you supposed to fit 8 candles in that? Strange. So anyway, people are turning themselves into animals. Trans species people. There's quite a few of them. There's a parrot man. There's a leopard man. There's a zebra man. There's a cat man and woman, surprisingly not married. But my favorite trans species individual has got to be the dragon lady. The dragon lady is someone who is transforming herself into a reptile. She has shaved off her nose. She cut off both of her ears. She's forked her tongue, all kinds of tattoos and implants to make her look like a reptile. But what I love about her is that not only did the dragon lady, she was once a woman, that woman was once a man. She's a transgender, trans-species individual, and this is fascinating shit. Especially when you consider that of all the surgeries she's had, she has yet to cut off her penis. Now, call me old-fashioned. But if you're going to switch species, now if you're going to switch, how does this joke go? Hold on one second. Stay with me. Stay with me. I'm not having a panic attack. That's fine. It's all right. We're good. I said we're good. We're having a good time. We're having a good... If you're going to switch species, I settle on a gender first, you know? Someone's got to tell her the tail goes on the back. Come on. No one thinks these things through. We're not a thinking culture. Sometimes. Sometimes we are, sometimes we're not. If I'm a trans species, transgender person, individual, organism, and I cut off my penis, is that animal cruelty? I ask because there's a lot of, you never know. You just never know who you're gonna, because I ask because we're all friends. You all know who I am. Get a little bit you can get a little bit closer here. I'm not afraid to admit that I don't know how I feel about animal cruelty. All right, kind of on the fence about it. I know it's like, Tim, what are you talking about? Animal stuff. Here's how I've come to this theory, thought, whatever you want to call it. I read a lot of Eastern philosophies, and in many of them, they talk about this idea of reincarnation. You know, that you come back to life several times over, just in an endless cycle. It's pretty much the opposite of YOLO, and your previous life dictates your present. You know how good or bad you are. Your present life influences your next one. This is where we get the idea of karma from. And surprisingly, this is where the curveball comes in, you don't always come back as a human, right? This is why a lot of Hindus and Buddhists are vegans, because if you're having a chicken sandwich, you might be eating grandma. So, with all that being said, how do we know that every single poor, tortured, firecracker in their mouth explosion kind of animal that's ever been brutalized wasn't once, or isn't, some of history's most heinous human beings come back to life to serve their cosmic prison sentence, right? Ooh, I don't know. This is why I'm on the fence. I don't know how I feel. This is awfully dicey, right? I'm not walking around to board meetings like, I don't know how I feel about animal cruelty. It's delicate. Because what if, hypothetically, all of Michael Vick's pit bulls were once ISIS suicide bombers? I don't like the way that feels either, you know? I mean, I don't want dogs getting killed in fights, but I'm a patriot. You know? Someone's got to go. What if all of those millions of cows and pigs and chickens that we force feed and slaughter every year for our fast food consumption were at one time slave owners of this country? Ooh! I don't know. I don't know how I would feel about Purdue chicken after that, you know? Tell you what, my cheeseburgers would be tasting a lot less guilty, though. What if, and this is the big one, this is where we separate the adults from the children. What if all of those sad, poor, helpless, defenseless animals on the Sarah McLachlan infomercial were once IRS employees? Woo! Oh my God! I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. If that were the case, though, PETA themselves would be sponsoring China's annual dog meat festival. You know, that would definitely happen. Admittedly, that is a long way to go for a tax season joke, but hey, we all just arrived. We did it. That's what happens when you value corporations and money. I don't want to get on a soapbox and preach or anything, but I'm just not. I'm not a fan of business people telling me what to do, and telling me that what they think is important is what the capital T truth is important. And it's usually businessmen, business people, business women. You know, they're always saying things like, can we make money off of this? We got to keep it in the black. You know, is there a profit to be made? All kinds. They're always telling me things like, Tim, it's a numbers game. We can go 50-50 or the whole 9 yards on a one-hit wonder for your 15 minutes of fame. But I have zero tolerance when someone does a 180 and acts two-faced, because it's a zero-sum game when hindsight's 20/20. Instead, I'll dress to the nines and feel like $1 million because I'm on cloud nine when I hang 10 at the 11th hour. And here's the $1 million question. Did you know that a stitch in time saves 9? Or that a bird in the hand's worth 2 in the bush? Or that 9 times out of 10, possession's 9/10 of the law, especially if you're considered 3/5 of a person? But I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. So I'll keep him at 10 and 2 and plead the 5th as I ride into this one-horse town. Because I'm an average Joe six-pack with a 5 o'clock shadow looking for a one-of-a-kind perfect 10 who will get down on all fours for a one-night stand that come by a dime a dozen. Because I'm always going 24/7, one by one, day by day, in one ear out the other, taken twice daily to the nth degree, and my erections last longer than 4 hours. I look out for number 1 because I refuse second best, and it's second nature for me to never second guess. I'm all for one and one for all. If 2's a company and 3's a crowd, then I'm the 5th wheel with 4 eyes who's 3 sheets to the wind and in a catch-22, because my 9 to 5 makes it hard to get my 40 winks, even though I get paid time and a half. Because I'm living in a first world with second-class citizens who are behind the 8 ball with 7 years bad luck. And I don't mean to give you the 3rd degree or break down the 4th wall, but here are my 2 cents once and for all. When I'm 6 feet under, I'll be in my 7th heaven, because I'm a 3-alarm fire that murders in the 1st degree. And every once in a while, I can knock in a hole-in-one when I really zero in on something, and now we're back to square one. So why don't we come full circle and do a 360? Business people tell me, Tim, it's a numbers game, and it's easy as 1, 2, 3. I said there was more where that came from, and you all doubted me, didn't you? Like, I don't think Tim he can't do more after that television, but there was numbers, and there's something coming after that one. I'm gonna check. Everyone having a good time? Cool. Because here is where it gets even more dicey than the animal cruelty bit. What's going to happen now is that I'm going to talk about a very specific word for a couple minutes. It's a word that we all know, that a lot of people find extremely offensive, that we shouldn't be using it no matter what the context. There's no context for us to be able to use this word because it's so vicious and full of hatred and vile and it's disgusting. And being who I am, I should never use this word, certainly never use it to describe someone because it's that awful. But as a comedian, I feel that it's my duty, and as an American citizen with free speech, to pursue conversations, open dialogue about all kinds of words. And I'm going to talk about it because I think it's important. I'm talking about the word moist. It gets a bad rap. I don't know, and it's usually, ladies, round of applause if you don't like the word moist. Yeah. My wife, awesome, thanks. Thanks a lot. I think it's a great word, though, and it gets better if I don't know why. Moist. Oh, 5 letters, 1 syllable. It's tremendous. Let's break this word down a little bit. M-O-I-S-T. Start with that. Yeah, he gets it. It's the noise you make when you smell something delicious. Oh, we're starting off on a good foot. Moist. Then you go into the O-I sound. Oi. Which on its own isn't anything special, but when you combine it with the to the oi, look what your mouth does. More. Oh, you're blowing a kiss. Oh, it's so sweet. Moy. Oh, it's so sweet. It's sexy. It's sensual. You know, maybe you're blowing a kiss to something that's moist. I don't know. You know. How does moist wrap up though? A little bit of a curveball. The ST sound. St. Woo. Okay, moist. I see what you're doing there. It's getting kind of sassy now. It's kind of like, moist, no, moist, no. Now look what your mouth does. Oh, this is getting dirty. Like, moister. You gotta growl. Oh, it's a good word, moist. You know, I don't know why it gets such a bad rap because whenever I hear the word moist, I'm thinking of a chocolate cake or a wet pussy, and I'm eating both of them. I don't care my parents are here. Who cares? Mom, I eat moist pussy. And it belongs to her over there. It's good. It's good stuff. We're having fun. We're loosening up our assholes a little bit. So if it's not obvious now, I love words. I love language and playing with language. It's fun, you know. But I'm gonna talk about women for a little bit, and I think, and not in a pandering way, but like in a legitimate, honest, authentic way. Like we got to do right by them, and I think it's important that all these big things that we're looking for, it really starts with the language that we use. And I think one way that we can do right by women is to change the language with how we talk about them. Because if we're going to describe a woman's menstrual cycle using a punctuation mark, I think we can do a lot better than the period, you know? Because the period, it doesn't exemplify the cycle the way that it should, you know what I mean? Because the period comes at the end of a sentence, boom, period, we're done. But from what I hear from you ladies is that your cycle is just never ending. It's just like another one. Oh my God, I thought more. Oh my God, here's another one. It's very annoying, right? It's more like a comma. It's like we're here and then but there's more left, and then we're pausing and then there's another one. You know. The only period that a woman gets is the last one right before menopause. You know, because that's the last period. It's the last one. You know. We can't call it a comma, though. It sounds too much like coma, and that's taken care of. What can we call it? You know, different punctuation mark. Because a lot of times women aren't entirely sure if it's arriving. They're like, is this cramps? Is it just indigestion? I think I'm getting my question mark. Well, maybe can we call it that? Maybe that's silly. That's ridiculous. Because a lot of times you know that it arrives and you're awfully excited. Like if you have a pregnancy scare and like, oh baby, I got my exclamation point. 5 syllables, it's too cumbersome. No one's gonna, that's ridiculous. Come on, Tim, think, you're smart. Come on, punctuation mark. Women have their period. They own it. They possess it. Possession? What is the punctuation mark that indicates possession? Apostrophe. Hey, whose period is that? It's Janet's. That's right, Janet, apostrophe S. Women get their apostrophe. And they thought that I'd never do anything with my English degree. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. Let's see what time we're at. Wow, nice. It's good. It's good stuff. Would you believe, just to backtrack a little bit, that television thing that I did before, and then that numbers thing that I did, I've been heckled for doing that. Now, I'm not saying it's the world's most creative piece or anything like that, but when I got done with the television show piece, I had this drunk woman in the back yell out, "You didn't say Breaking Bad." I'm like, what? You listen to that whole thing, and what sticks out is what you didn't hear? Oh, come on. And then another time I did the numbers piece, and this drunk guy yells out, I take my bow, the drunk guy yells out in the back, "What about 69? I'm like, oh, come on. Just quit being surly. Trying to sully with this pristine art. Back to women, though. Yeah, we should do right by them, and they have it so rough, and I don't understand why people just give them such a hard time. Like specifically, public breastfeeding. Oh my God! If I hear another person talk about how disgusting and oh my God, like who cares? It doesn't matter, right? Life is inherently meaning-free. We're free to choose whatever meaning to ascribe whatever meaning it is to whatever we're experiencing. So if you're getting offended by that, that's more your fault, Maybe I'm a bit more liberal in my views, but a woman could be publicly breastfeeding while she free bleeds on her through her pants on her cycle, while she kneels during the national anthem with an American flag burning behind her, I'm not gonna raise an eyebrow, you know, because that doesn't matter. It doesn't take away anything, you know. People are acting like women are just whipping out these milky, leaking titties and treating their nipples like lawn sprinklers, just tick, 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 brrr, tick, 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 brrr. What is that, a hungry kitten? Brrr. You want some cream in your coffee? Brrr. That's not what's happening at all. Give them a break. You know, they're trying to do all kinds of things, you know, shorten the wage gap. Oh, again, it starts with the language. How we're setting our sights too high sometimes. Like, ladies, I don't know. I really don't know how you're going to get equal pay for equal work, because at this point, you don't even have equal pockets for equal pants, you know? It's ridiculous. Every woman here who's wearing jeans, that's all you can do. Maybe a receipt. Maybe you can fit a receipt in there. Tired of carrying around my wife's shit? It's bad, you know? And with technology being what it is, you know, the advancements that we're making in all kinds of technology, entertainment, medical field especially, you know, with prosthetics that they have, new age stuff. You can swallow cameras that take pictures of your insides. You know, this year, I swear they're starting their own, they've been planning a head and body transplant, right? There's all these things that are happening medical technology-wise. It's a real wonder how the ultrasound business has not caught up to speed, you know? I have a lot of friends of mine, a lot of people that I know are getting pregnant, having kids, and they're constantly posting the sonogram on social media. How is it possible that every modern day sonogram looks like it was the first sonogram that was ever taken? How is that possible? We've made all these strides, you know? It's still that same black and white, grainy, crappy footage. You know? The moon landing has better footage than that. I mean, if that even happened, you know? I think it's because men can't get pregnant. They don't have something growing inside them. They don't give a shit. It doesn't matter to them. You know, they say the same thing about abortion. If men can get abortions, you'd be able to get one at an ATM. You know, that's the old joke. I think the same thing for sonograms. If a guy had something growing in him, he would be blasting that on screens like this. You know, look at my boy! Look at him! Look, that dick is gonna be huge! I'm so proud of my boy! Ultra high def, you know, crystal clear clarity. But they don't get pregnant, so just keep the 1940s technology going. That's good. A lot of people in comedy often talk about pornography, and it was brought up a couple times today. I'm not going to talk about pornography per se, because it gets discussed a lot. No one really talks about, though, how unrealistic the standards set, though, because we all know that porn pussy is not real pussy, right? We can all agree on that. And yes, I'm still aware that my mother is in the audience. We can agree to that, though, because we all know that every single real-world vagina always has just a little bit of toilet paper residue on it. Just a little bit. And it's not a big deal. You know, we've been over this. It's a moist crevice. Things are bound to get left behind. It's not a big deal, right? Don't be bashful, you know, because a lot of you are probably thinking, like, oh, that the first time, if you ever come face to face with toilet paper pussy, it's a lot like listening to music on vinyl. At first, you're like, well, this is quite the inconvenience. But then you're like, nah, this is the real deal. This is the real deal. The clarity. This is great. This is great. Don't be bashful. I'm talking about getting down there and slurping up those piss flaps until it looks like a glazed ham. Consensual oral sex is what I'm preaching right now, right? Because I'm not done I'm not satisfied going down on my wife until my face looks like I walked through a dewy spider web. Just full of sticky stuff, you know? Oh, I'm the only one. You're all probably gonna go down on each other tonight anyways. That's what I'm talking about. You know? Because that's you gotta experiment. You gotta do things and whatnot. Because that's what love's all about, right? And I swear to God, if I hear one more guy talk about how, oh, where's the clitoris? I can't find that thing. It's so hard to find. Oh, where's the clitoris? I'm gonna take his face and shove it into a vagina like you do a dog who just shit on the rug. You know? You see that? You see that? Smell it. Get used to it. I don't know where it is. I don't know what I'm doing down there. You ever licked an ice cream cone? Congratulations, you know what you're doing down there. Christ almighty! And I get it. Maybe you're with someone who likes making love with the lights off, or you're underneath the blanket. I get it. That's when you take out your menorah so you can see what you're doing. Because that's what real love is all about. Can I talk about love for just a little bit here? You know, all right, cool. Support of one person, awesome. Come on, Valentine's Day just passed, everyone. Aren't y'all falling in love? Because real love is not Hallmark. It's not what we think it is. It's not Lifetime and all that. Real love, what I've found is that it's awfully graphic, right? We were talking about pets before. You all have pets, so a lot of you have pets. So I imagine a lot of times you've loved something so much that it's so cute. You know, you just want to kill it. You ever love something you just you ever love something that much? You know, it's graphic. It's incredibly graphic. Because that. Now maybe it's only because I've been married for 20 months, and it's always the people that have been married for decades that are just really bitter, and they put down young love, and they love giving me the same 2-word response all the time. Anytime I talk about how much my wife and I are in love and how much we enjoy each other's company and best friends and whatnot, they always give me the same 2-word response. It's always, just wait. Just you wait and see. You're going to be miserable like the rest of us. You're going to hate your spouse too. Just wait. And I hate it because they're the same people who put down or who criticize the divorce rate nowadays. Like, how can you have it both ways? Like, oh, you're gonna hate your wife sooner or later, and then I end up hating her, and I divorce because we don't want to be miserable together. And it's these kids, they don't want to work on anything nowadays. Like, wait, I can't fathom this incoherency. It's ridiculous. You know, just wait. That's all. Because it's always the same. It's always the same old guy. Just bitter because his wife doesn't let him do anything. It's just like, oh, my wife, she's always saying, all I want to do is just be by myself. And she's taking wrenches to support beams in the garage. Oh, my God, I should have stayed in Korea. And she's like, I just want to do what I want. And the wife calls back, Harvey, I swear to God, if you're having another ice cream sandwich, I'm going to kill you myself. You like that? That was good, right? Yeah. We're going to edit this out for later. I went to a costume party one time, and I probably had the most creative costume in the party. I didn't win any sort of prize or anything, but I was really happy with how different it was. Here's what I did. I dressed up in all white. I printed out a big picture of an eyeball, and I taped it to my chest. And then I wrapped my entire body in those clearish, kind of whitish garbage bags, and I went as glaucoma. Pretty good, pretty good. Didn't win, like I said, didn't win anything, but that's, it's pretty creative, right? A lot of people didn't know what glaucoma is at the party, so I just started telling everyone, I'm cataracts. And even fewer people knew what that was, so by the end of the night, I got so tired of explaining myself, I said, fuck it, I'm Bill Cosby's right eye. Because that thing is cloudy as fuck. Have you seen that thing? It's ridiculous. Best part about that joke, it's a Cosby joke that doesn't involve his rape. Oh, look at that. It can be done. We can make fun of Cosby without always talking about how awful of a human being he is. Before I got married, I was a big, not a big online dater, but I tried it a little bit. I swore off after this one experience that I had where a woman shows up and she looks just like her profile. Oh, this is great. But it really threw me for a loop because she turned out to be a double amputee. And I was like, didn't expect that one. That's the last time that I used StubHub, Have the kind of sour taste in my mouth. I really appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Thank you all so much for being here and supporting this. I want to thank Lee for letting us do this in management. I really appreciate it, and thanks to Kevin Martin and Kale Productions on production for the film crew. If I'm gonna leave you with anything, it would be some words of wisdom that I have accumulated over the course of my 29 years of living, and it is that we should live life with intention. You know what I mean? Be exact, be precise in just about everything that you do. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you should live life to the letter. Because whenever I watch TV, it's either A&E and TMZ or AMC and TNT. Maybe that's because I got rejected by MIT for having a poor GPA. Plus, I did real bad on my SATs after smoking all that PCP. Man, I was seeing UFOs. But it made me feel like a real POS because FYI, my essay wasn't written in MLA. So I went to LSU, then transferred to UCLA, where I got to play in the NCAA with the hopes of making it to the MLB until I tore my ACL. Now I work for the NAACP, and I have a pretty good 401k according to ADP. I never work OT, and they always give me plenty of PTO. I support the LGBT community, which means I don't like the KKK. I donate to PBS. I protest BP. I cook with EVOO and always avoid the GMOs. I commute to NYC on the GWB and always take the Easy Pass tolls. I used to drive a GMC until it broke down and I had to call AAA. Then I upgraded to a BMW SUV with a built-in GPS. Man, it was like going from VHS to DVD with all that LCD clarity in HD. Now, even though I have iOS, my phone calls still go MIA because I have AT&T. JK. But can you hear me now? Because I'm staying at a YMCA with a retired WNBA star who's enrolled in AARP and plays on the senior PGA tour. She's my BFF. Because every night, it's like LOLs. One night, after watching SNL and listening to B.B. King, I drove to an ATM at my local PNC, but I got an IOU. So now how am I supposed to pay for the meds I need for my HIV and my wife's HPV when we visit CVS? I'm starting to feel kind of dizzy. I might be having TIAs, according to WebMD. Something must be wrong with my DNA. Maybe it's ADD, ADHD, PTSD, or OCD, or OCD, or OCD, or OCD. So I went to the ER, but they said I had a normal EKG. Man, you can't trust HMOs because everyone's talking all PC, thinking we're these VIPs with super high IQs. And while I'm at it, I don't trust the FBI or the CIA because they killed JFK and MLK. I hate the IRS and I don't like being felt up by the TSA. Man, this is all so depressing. So I started taking SSRIs and seeing an LPC, but those pills aren't OTC, so you might be SOL. You gotta relax, man. Go down to a beach in like LA or LBI, drink down some LITs, but you better stay away from those UV rays and Jersey Shore STDs. Go out to a BYOB, bring along a DD to avoid a DWI, listen to NPR on AM radio, or rock out on FM to REM and AC/DC. Personally, I prefer reading E.E. Cummings poetry, because reading is a lot better than watching NBC, CNN, ABC, MSNBC, or the BBC, because it's always LAPD this or NYPD that. Makes me feel like I'm getting DP'd by the DEA with AK-47s and K9 units. And would you believe I met a vet in a VFW who was a POW in WW2? He made an SS platoon go KIA with his RPG after losing most of Company C to an IED. And I still can't believe W lied about those WMDs. Wasn't there a Q&A? Sure, but we were all told to mind your P's and Q's, and now no one's feeling A-OK. So here's that free advice. You all could use ASAP for all of your FAQs. Keep your HDL cholesterol high and your LDL cholesterol low. You don't need an MBA or a PhD to be a success because after all, what the hell does E equals MC squared even mean? It's much more important to know that the NFL equals TBI, aka traumatic brain injury, and that it takes more than just some cold H2O to fight ALS. You can never go wrong with a PB&J or a BLT. Back up all of your work through a USB, and if you have any hate mail, send it to my P.O. Box or URL. P.S. This has been exhausting. I'm gonna go catch some Z's. Thank you very much for coming out tonight, everyone. I appreciate and I love you all. Thank you again, and have a nice night.